Hi, and welcome to the Carnivore Stories podcast with me, Alyssa Gretler. The carnivore way of eating has completely transformed my life, and it's stories just like the ones you'll hear on this podcast that kept me going strong every step of the way. I hope you're ready to hear an inspirational carnivore story. I know I am, so let's get into it. Welcome to episode 12 of the Carnivore Stories podcast. Today I have with me Aline Gretler, aka Carnivore Girl. Aline is 38 and she's a creative carnivore recipe developer living in Reno, Nevada. You can find her on Instagram and on YouTube at Carnivore Girl. So it's Karnibor Girl. Welcome to the show, Aline. Thank you so much for meeting with me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I was really excited for this.
Yes, I was really excited when I saw that you were able to reschedule such short notice. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with what your lifestyle was like prior to coming to the carnivore way of eating.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was a baby. No, well, maybe it is important though, because I got formula fed. I never got mother's milk. And apparently that's not very good because my mom, I was a C-section baby and my mom she had to take antibiotics because she had a fever. So she could never give me mother's milk, and then later when she could, she didn't have enough milk. But so anyways, then my story, well, was like I was eating everything. I thought I was doing well with everything, and then I kind of went to this typical bodybuilding diet. So chicken, well, lean protein, very lean protein. So chicken breast with rice and asparagus, and broccoli. So that's like the main thing. And of course, all those protein bars and stuff. And then actually, I got really, really sick in like 2015, 16. And I found, of course, all the regular doctors couldn't help me. So I found Power Health. And yeah, at that time, I still had health insurance, but they didn't pay 1 cent for it. So, well, I did this, I think it was like 3 months or something, this, whatever it was at Power Health. And they put me on a crazy elimination diet. Well, not as crazy as carnivore, of course, but at that time it was like crazy for me, right? So they took me off, like everything that kind of could give you a reaction. So, eggs I could reintroduce very soon again. But then all the legumes, gluten, grains, soy, nightshades, nuts, what else? Yeah, so like this. But so I could still eat and not, they said don't eat too many fruits, but I could still eat fruits and vegetables. But I put myself on a keto diet then. So that's like most carnivores, I started with keto. And of course, I became obsessed with all those keto treats, like really obsessed. You can't believe, like I have lists, I still have them. I have lists on my phone, like all the keto treats, like all the bars, all the flavors. So I could eat all of them in different ways. And like I had to try everything. It was not good for my brain. So, I think that is how I ate prior to carnivore. And then I guess you want to know how I found to carnivore. So,
yes.
Yeah, that was funny. Well, while I was keto, I live with Paul. Who is Paul? He's not my boyfriend. He's not my husband. It's just, well, he helps me with, we live together. We're going to do business together. So anyways, so Paul told me about this guy that only eats meat. And it was Frank Tufano. That was like back in the days when he was still carnivore. Apparently now he's not. I don't know. I don't follow him. But that was like maybe in, I can't really tell, but I would say 2 years before I turned carnivore. So maybe in 2017, he told me about that guy. And we watched just like a video or two on YouTube, you know, and of course, it's like, oh, wow, interesting. But I don't eat my greens, right? I need my vegetables. I was with keto, I was all about the numbers. Well, as long as I stay in my numbers, so it was like 70 to 75% fat and no more than 9.9 grams of net carbs, you know, the net carbs. I was fine, but of course I couldn't stay on it, especially with the treats. I got crazy addicted and then I always fell off. So, but anyways, I heard about, well, I don't think we used the word carnivore, or maybe he mentioned, I don't know, but that's the first time I heard that. But then I kind of forgot, right? And so during my keto days, it got always worse and worse. Also, I still have, unfortunately, a lot of health problems. And with keto, as I just mentioned, I always got off keto because I just got a crazy binge eating, episodes, and like really crazy binge eating. I mean, binge eaters know what I'm talking about. You just shove whatever you can find in your mouth. The more unhealthy, the better. I was even looking for what is the most unhealthy thing I could take, except no gluten and no tomatoes, because those I know they would probably put me in the hospital. Probably not the tomatoes, but the gluten, but still everything else. And so I kept having those binge eating episodes with crazy then depression and IBS pain, and just like, and every time, like always, right? Okay, that's the last time. What can I do now so that doesn't happen anymore? So I tried, you know, with the numbers, peaking stuff, changing stuff. I tried with fasting or like whatever. And so November 2019, I had another one of a really, really bad of those episodes. And I was, okay, no, it's not working anymore. I need something completely different, like completely. And don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but I was sitting on the couch, maybe an angel came down, I don't know, and told me about, so like reminded me of the carnivore diet. Like just suddenly
It's the carnivore angel.
Exactly. Fuck, my phone is ringing right now and I can't turn it off. So I'm so sorry, but it will turn off by itself. Because I never use the home phone anymore. So I just let it, I think it already stopped. Okay, good. I'm sorry. Yeah, so carnivore, I don't know, just suddenly, as I said, like about 2 years prior, Paul told me about that guy, Frank Tufano, but I totally forgot about it all these years. And suddenly it just came there. And then it was funny, as soon as I got that as that reminder about that this exists, I knew this is what I have to do. There's so many people out there, and I totally get it. They're like, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to try for a month. I was like, no, that's what I have to do for the rest of my life to stay healthy. I didn't know yet what kind of carnivore way, but something like carnivore. And then, of course, I started to do research like crazy. And yeah, then I started with my levels. I made levels like always 30 days. So Kevin Stock has this great guide about starting carnivore and stuff, and I kind of took his levels but peaked them a bit. So I think level 1 was just everything animal products, like everything animal except milk and honey, because I knew those are very addictive. And then, well, in level 1, I figured out cheese is really addictive. So, and then level 2, I think take out all the processed foods and what else? And all the dairy, exactly. And then I think level 3 was just beef, salt water. Maybe I had beef, eggs, salt water. And I added a level 4 ribeye salt water. So I ate ribeye salt water for 30 days. It wasn't boring at all. Of course, I came up with a lot of recipes as a creative things. And then I think I did like until level 8 or something. I don't know. So I added those levels. So anyways, long story short, that's kind of how I got to it and started.
Awesome. So yeah, I did see a video on your YouTube that it had all the ways you can make a ribeye or prepare a ribeye.
Exactly. I think I have 6 videos now of that, and I still have more ideas how to prepare ribeye, and it's really just ribeye, salt, and water. But yeah, I don't really, I haven't done one of those videos for a while, but it's fun, yeah, because there's just, yeah, it's not boring. There's so many different ways.
Where do you get your inspiration from? I mean, I've never seen so much creativity with just animal foods.
I have a crazy brain, and it's a gift and a curse, believe me. It's,
yes.
I was, well, not always. I don't really remember when I was a baby, but I don't know, like teenager years, suddenly I got interested in food and nutrition. Like I kind of have, so I still have them, like probably almost 100 counted together cooking books and magazines. And when I started, I made recipes from those books, and I spent hours like looking at them and preparing like an entire week what I cook, when I cook what. And every time I cook something, there's a tag, there's the date, there's the name for whom I did that, and then I never do it again because it's boring. So it's like it's a kind of a bit I need to try everything, I need to do everything. So I need to, like, I wanted to, well, it's not possible, but I wanted to make every single recipe basically. But so I got really obsessed also, what is a bit a problem with, so as I said, it's like a gift and a curse. And I am creative. And yeah, I also used to make these 7-course gourmet meals for my dad, like a haute cuisine. And I spent like 3 days in the kitchen. So I made everything myself, like every little appetizer, the bread, everything. And then when I started with carnivore first, I was also, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard for me, because I used to like almost eating everything, and so versatile, right? And all those creative things. But then suddenly, I don't know, I can't stop it. It's my problem. I have a list on my, I love lists and charts and stuff. I have a list on my phone with like still 100 or more recipe ideas. So I try to make those, right? So I can scratch them off and the list gets shorter, but it doesn't happen, because as soon as I make something, I get more ideas for, or something. I try to make a recipe, but something else happens, not on purpose. Like, oh my gosh, I just invented something else. Or like, it just, yeah.
Happens. Wow. So I'm sure you're known throughout your family and your friends as a gourmand, like someone who can cook anything. What do they all think of you eating only meat now?
Yeah, that is so. I live in Reno, Nevada, as you said, and well, I'm sure by now everyone figured out I have an accent. So I'm from Switzerland, and well, actually,
Okay.
I just want to say all my family's in Switzerland, but that's not true. I have family also in San Francisco and Palo Alto, but my mom and my dad, they're in Switzerland. So I've been in Reno for, oh my gosh, I think 11 years now. So all that carnivore stuff started here. So, and since I'm carnivore, I haven't been back to Switzerland. So they've never like seen me or really, but of course after I told them and stuff. And my dad is special. I'm pretty sure I got the Asperger's from him. But he has his own stuff, but he always I got the cooking and the gourmet stuff from him. So he took me actually very young to like gourmet restaurants, and so he's totally, he didn't even really say anything or whatever, I'm sure, and he loves meat and stuff and seafood, but sometimes he travels a lot and he sends me those food pictures, like, and like, you know, or like desserts. Oh, you don't need to send me this stuff. It's like, but it's my dad. And my mom, of course it took a while, and like every time we talked again, but do you really don't eat vegetables? And what about vegetables? Or what about fruits? Or what about, no, still no, nothing. So I'm sure she thought, I mean, Switzerland is really brainwashed and really naive, and there are many vegans there. They wanna get rid of meat. They at school they want to get rid of the meat and stuff. It's so, and I also grew up, fat is bad, red meat is, well, not bad, and especially never, my dad never, but like more my mom or society, you know. So I think now my mom, she accepts it, and but yeah, she's not here. She doesn't see me. So it will be interesting when we meet again, when she actually sees what I eat and stuff.
So what do you typically eat in a day?
I knew that question will come, and I don't have typical days. Like, as I said, I'm so creative. I'm
Okay.
like, but
I figured that.
I have a list. I love lists. I have a list on my phone, what I cook every day, what I want to prepare every day. But so what I'm doing for a while now, I think I would have to check. It's probably around week 50 now. Oh, so it's almost a year. So I told you about when I started, I used to do those levels, I called them. So 30 days, this. And now I have my carnivore weeks. So I thought that was fun. And I started with beef. So 1 week only beef, and then everything else I added. So I think, and then week 2 was like shrimp. So I was eating shrimp and beef, and then week 3, but I also have like special weeks. So for example, once I only ate eggs, and oh my gosh, eggs, they drive me crazy. I love eggs, but they're so versatile. I couldn't make all those recipes in 1 week that I wanted to, because there's just eggs. You can make so much things out of it. And so not too long ago, I've done a week only salmon. So I think those are really fun and interesting. And also, yeah, I can actually, for other people, I can recommend that, to do that once in a while, because I have friends, as I have a friend in Switzerland, she's also carnivore, and she gets bored with just carnivore. And then instead of trying to loosen it up, like, oh, what else could I add? Make it stricter. So I was like, okay, after my week of just salmon, that one was not that bad, but a week only cod, like white fish, and it's so unflavorful, and cod, like, do you know how juicy and how delicious a steak was? Or just any beef, like, so you really,
sure.
Yeah, you really start to appreciate it again. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can actually eat so much on just carnivore. It's or otherwise look up my recipes. As you said, there's so much that you can do with, and I don't have dairy in it, and I don't have pork in it. So that is what I eat in a tip, I can't tell you. It's always totally different.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it's like never the same. Because some people, they'll eat the same thing every day and they never get tired of it.
Yeah,
but I figured
exactly. But I couldn't do that. I totally understand that I would get tired too. I do it sometimes because of as a challenge, like 1 week only this, and it really sets me to the right place again to appreciate the other foods.
And do you only season with salt?
Yes. So I have to think about. Yes, I have different kinds of salt. They're all pure, of course. So different. The Himalayan pink salt, they all taste the same, but the sea salts, they all taste differently. And I need to find black salt again. That it's like sulfur, but it's so delicious. It even smells like it. So it's really different. It really tastes like sulfur, but I love it. And then, I take a lot of supplements. Yes, I'm a carnivore and I need supplements. And I have supplements, chaga, turkey-tailed mushroom, and lion's mane mushroom. And I have those in powder or grain form. And well, the chaga you need to drink as a tea, otherwise it doesn't work. But then when I'm done, when it doesn't get brown anymore, I take the kernels and stuff, the kernels or the kernels, the grains.
Yes.
And I use it in my meals for cooking. So it's not like really seasoning, but mushrooms are not plants. So I'm still not eating.
That's
plants.
true.
So I use those mushrooms sometimes in my food, and they're super delicious. And then I just figured out when I had a cricket week, so I ordered those roasted crickets, really just roasted crickets, not even salt on it. They're so delicious, and they're awesome also as a spice. So you can just crush them over something, and I love them. And I'm not eating crickets now because we all should eat insects and save the planet. Not fucking bullshit. I eat them because they're super delicious, but of course not just that, and not that much. But so
if you had to compare them to a more familiar food for a lot of people, what would you say they remind you of?
Crickets?
Yes.
I can just say, I don't know about maybe mushrooms even, because they taste earthy. They taste like earth.
Okay.
But really, I was surprised, super delicious. Yeah, so I can't really, maybe because mushrooms, well, they come out from the earth, or, it depends on different kinds of mushrooms. But so maybe, but of course they're crunchy, and the mushrooms are crunchy, but earthy. Yeah. But so seasoning with like black pepper or anything. No, black pepper, I start to sweat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, and black pepper is really high in oxalates too, so that can give people a lot of issues. Do you incorporate organs?
Yeah, I actually, my pre-workout So I usually, when I'm able to, I train a lot, and I like to train fasted as well, but it always depends. Kind of now I also have CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and so I'm sometimes always tired. I don't have energy, so it's better to eat something before. But I don't like a big pre-workout. So a pre-workout can be like small, but it always contains raw beef liver. And just so not every day, but almost every day I eat raw beef liver, but just like 15 to 20 grams. So that's like just like a little piece. I prepare them, I freeze them, and it has to have lots of salt, otherwise I don't like it. And then sometimes I add something else, maybe a hard-boiled egg, or it's something leftover I have. And then, well, I do like beef heart, but only as I like it raw. Or I torch it on the, or yeah, when it's still pieces again, I take a piece out and I torch it with my blowtorch on the outside. So it gets torched outside, but inside it's basically still frozen. It's still raw. And then, kidneys. I love kidneys baked, but again, only when they're still rare in the middle. When it's totally done, they gross. But when it's and the juices you get from the kidney is even better. And yeah, sweetbreads I like. What else? Yeah, I like organs, but I'm not saying like, okay, once a week I need to eat heart, or once a week I need. So I just incorporate them whenever I feel like it. I don't feel like everyone needs to have organs and stuff in their diet. But what's actually interesting with the raw beef liver, so as I mentioned, I eat it raw with a lot of salt, and I like it. I wouldn't eat it if I wouldn't get the benefits of it. I have to say it's not that good, but I can eat it. It took me a while to get used to it. But unfortunately, not anymore. But when I started this, I don't remember it, years ago, when I started it to take it as a pre-workout, I got energy. Like I really, just a little piece of raw beef liver, I really felt it. I'm like, fuck, I have energy. Now I go to the gym lift.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore to me. But as I mentioned, I have a lot of health issues. So maybe when those are resolved, this will happen again.
Do you mind sharing what some of those are, some of those health issues?
No, I don't mind sharing. So I can share what I know, because yeah, it's always the worst when you don't know. Well, probably the most, I'll say the biggest one, I used to have a pituitary gland tumor. Your pituitary gland it's not the brain, but it's like the hypothalamus is the brain, and it's hanging down there. It looks like a ball sack. Yeah. And so you can't, I did, of course, like always, I did a lot of research because I love learning. You can always learn something new. And they don't know for how long I had it and stuff, but I had really, really bad symptoms. And I tried to reduce it with RSO, Rick Simpson oil. So that's the entire plant of the marijuana plant, with poly-MVA, which is supplements and stuff. But it even grew. It was, they told me it was benign, so it wasn't cancerous, but it was very aggressive. And I had really bad issues, really, and eventually it would have made me blind, because it was pressing on my, I think, the right eye nerve, and eventually it would have killed me. So I had surgery last year in June, and yeah, I thought, okay, now all my problems are gone, but unfortunately not. So, like, for example, what I what I actually just had this morning. When I had the tumor, my vagus nerve started to cramp up. So especially back in the throat, like imagine cramps, but back in the throat, it's still a bit sore from this morning. And it gets ice cold. I can't talk anymore. I need a hot water bottle here. I can't lay down. And it's really scary and it hurts. And yeah, so since the tumor is out, that got much, much better, but it's still happening. And I have no idea why. And yeah, of course, I also had the crazy migraines and stuff. But yeah, so anyways, this is about the tumor. And then I have, like almost every person, EBV, Epstein-Barr virus. Most people have that virus in them. They don't even know it, or they get mono once and then it's done, usually as a teenager. Me too. I had mono when I was 15, 1.5 weeks, done, never a problem again. And then, as I mentioned, in 2015, 16, I got really, really sick and I went to Power Health. That's when I had chronic mono again. It's chronic, it's when it's more than 6 months. And I got my EBV numbers tested and the doctor said, like, well, I don't want to say it's the high, these are the highest numbers I've ever seen, but in the top 3. So my EBV numbers were crazy high. Like I was, I wasn't doing well at all. And with EBV, as with mono, usually comes also CFS, the chronic fatigue syndrome. But the chronic fatigue syndrome can also occur without the mono. So that's, for example, each day I take vitamin C, liposomal, that's fat soluble, vitamin C and fat, so you can absorb it more. So actually 2,000 grams of that. And then I also take 2,000 milligrams. 2,000 grams, oh my gosh. So 2 grams of liposomal vitamin C and 800 milligrams of a powdered vitamin C, but pure, nothing else in it, palmitate something. I take that each day because if I don't take vitamin C, my EBV mono gets active right away. So the vitamin C keeps it can also still get active, but I figured that out when I actually started with carnivore. I was like, I believe like, oh yeah, carnivores, they don't need any supplements. So I started to try to get off all my supplements and this, the vitamin C and also others, but I couldn't. And then now I'm back up to a lot of supplements because I just need them. But yeah, these are the things I know. Well, the IBS, of course, is in with carnivore is much better, but still, again, almost every time before I have a bowel movement, I have crazy pain. And I just was at my neurologist. Yeah, my neurologist is my regular doctor because the regular doctors you can't trust. He knows about my diet. So he's great. He always tries with supplements that doesn't just give me meds. So I was just at my neurologist again to try to figure out what's going on because, oh yeah, of course. So the pituitary gland, right? I had a tumor there. The pituitary gland regulates all your hormones. It makes almost all the hormones. So my hormones are fucked up. I had a really great surgeon. So I still have some of my pituitary gland left, but less than half. So it's also, I lost my muscle mass, my testosterone, my HGH is low. And I get hot flashes, I get cold shivers. So I feel like I'm going through a cycle, but the cycle is not 28 days, it's like 40 days or something. And just one day one night I get a migraine every time in that cycle, but just once. And then it's like weird. And then yeah, the depression. I'm a happy person. I love my life. I'm good, but suddenly I don't want to exist anymore. And really, it's that bad. And this is the worst. I have crazy pains, but I would rather take the pain than the depression, because the depression is so, so bad. So yeah, I really hope they figure out what it is, what I have now, or what they can do. So yeah, it's a journey.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I mean, it is a journey. There's really no finish line. But I mean, you seem like you are coping with all of this so well.
Well, yeah, because you see me in my good phase.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
bad phase, that's why I went back to my neurologist again, because the problem is, so I hope no one understands me, because if you understand me, you have it too. Because with depression, when you're in a depression, you can't imagine it ever be different again. You can't imagine to be happy again or to feel differently. But so it happened, this cycle happened enough that even I'm in a depression, I know it will go by. As I know it will get better again. I know, but I can't feel it. It's so hard. But then the problem is, I know it will come back, because I can't. I try to break the cycle, and I can't. So that's why also I went back to my neurologist, and I so hope he can help me before it comes back again. So it's just so hard when you know it will come back again. But I promise myself, I won't. I mean, you can't. I won't give up. And there is help out there for me. I know. I just need to be patient, need to find it. Something interesting that I also can say about being strict carnivore, I really need to point that out, what I figured out. So, okay, I'm not proud of that. So, sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. It's also a problem for me. When I started carnivore, I stayed strict, very, very strict for 1 year, more than 1 year and 7 months. Nothing else, totally strict, because I'm an all or nothing person. And yeah, oh my gosh, these are other stories at the hospital, right? Even then, anyways, but I came home after the hospital, and my recovery was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. It was so bad. And I had this anesthesia taste in my mouth, and it was so bad, and I couldn't cover it up. Meat tasted like cardboard. Eggs were a little bit better. The only thing I could taste was sweet. Thank you. Yeah. So that's when I broke. And since then, with the depression, binge eating comes along again. Yeah, this is also something, the binge eating. When I started carnivore, I didn't really have the binge eating anymore. As I said, I didn't go off carnivore. But since then, since that one time I got off, I kept falling off, but only when the depression is here. And what I figured out, so I got my period back. I didn't have my period for quite a while because tumor hormones, right? Of course, not regular at all. But really quickly before, when I had my period, I always had a great period. Well, except for the very first time I got it, but then barely any pain, not a lot of bleeding, just like 3 days. Nice. Okay, I got my period back. And when I started to fall off my carnivore lifestyle, my period was so crazy painful. I never ever had so much pain in my life from a period. Not even when I got it from at the first time. I was incapacitated. I was screaming, and I couldn't move. And I have a high pain tolerance, and I barely take any meds. Even when I'm almost dying, then I take meds. But otherwise, I just don't. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I needed, well, one time I needed like 2 times 2 ibuprofen. And then the next time I got my period, it got even worse because I was still not strict carnivore again. So I needed like 2 Tylenols, and that was much stronger than ibuprofen. Then like, I don't know, 5 hours later, I needed 2.5 Tylenols. And then I think I took another one later. So it was like, and usually I never take anything, but I couldn't. It was so, and then I was like, you know what? I read it, I heard it from so many other women that their period pains go away or are much better when they stay strict carnivore. So it's like, okay, you know what?
Yes. Yeah, that's been my experience.
Thank you. So I told myself, whatever happens with my next depression, you can eat all the meat you want, eat whatever you want, all the ribeyes, all the fat, but you don't get off carnivore. Then my period was still painful, very painful, but I didn't need pain meds anymore. Then still I stayed strict. Then my period was just uncomfortable. Other people will probably say, oh, still pain, but like very uncomfortable. So it got better and better. Like you just told it as well. So you figured that out too. That is so crazy.
Yes. That was something that I was just like, hallelujah, because mine were really bad. I mean, there were times when I was in high school that I felt like I would pass out from the pain. And
you see, I didn't know that. Mine were always great. I didn't know that. So then when you started carnivore, your period, so now you don't have any pain anymore, or much less, or?
No. So most periods, there's no pain. If I do feel pain, it'll be on the first day, and it's just a little pressure, to let me know something's happening.
Yeah, right. It's like pressure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and
uncomfortable.
Then
you feel like more like uncomfortable, but you can still do everything.
And stuff. Yes. Yeah. You can still go to the gym and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So you do feel like, or I know what I was going to ask. What did you add in when you fell off the wagon? What were you eating that you hadn't been eating before?
You don't want to know. No, everything I can find. So, okay, I'm an honest person. So, okay, I'm lucky. I live here with Paul, and there are many foods he can't, when I started with carnivore, so he can't have in the house. So he's really good. And also because of me, he doesn't have gout anymore, because he's not carnivore. He's animal-based, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But so he used to have Reese's here and like chocolates. He got rid of that because it gives him gout. But he's what is he? He's like Sicilian and Spanish. So he likes Mexican food. So he always has corn chips. And it usually always starts with those fucking corn chips. He eats cheese. I don't eat cheese, but he always has like the same cheese, or he brings home spicy food. I can't, even not carnivore, I can't eat spicy at all. So it's good here. Like the non-carnivorous foods we have, they basically always all the same. And I know that my brain can deal with them. My problem is when there's something new, but that doesn't really happen. But I walk a dog 4 times a week, and at the dog's place, they have everything, and they have.
Okay.
and she throws food away, like, and yeah, that's a problem. When then I start there just with some blueberries or like something even once, I'm not kidding you, one leaf of lettuce led to a binge eat. Yes. So it doesn't even matter what I start with. It just, whatever it is, it switches something and then free for everything. So then I just ate whatever I can find, except gluten and tomatoes. This is so in my brain. No. But so then I come home and, well, yeah, we have the corn chips or something, but Paul is really nice. When I have these episodes, he takes the corn chips into his car and with him. So they're not here. I'm like, fuck. But we have a lot of emergency food. So I went, and the emergency food is probably even older than I am. Like, since I know Paul, he always has tons. Now we started to stock up emergency food with meat. And really, we found canned meat, just meat and salt for me. So it's perfect. But anyways, we still have all those old ones. And then I go through, and for example, I found a can, like a big can, full of chocolate powder, also with milk, like it's to make chocolate milk drink, whatever.
Okay.
And I'm like, with a spoon. When Paul, he saw me with all chocolate all over, I'm like, you need to take. Now I finally, I emptied the can. The can is cool. I want to keep the can, but I emptied it into the trash. I finally, so it's just whatever I can find. Like, it's so bad. But yeah, it usually starts with corn chips, just because they're usually around here. And then it's like chocolate. I need chocolate. I want chocolate. But they also, like, I used to love fruit and berries. And yeah, there are a lot of carnivores. They eat some berries. But for me, I just can't. I get so crazy addictive. Yeah, this is also, I say everyone is sugar carb addicted to a certain degree, but I'm really addicted. I really have a problem. It's an addiction, and it should be treated as an addiction. It's a sugar addiction.
Yeah, that is common in the carnivore community, that a lot of the people who stay with this way of eating, it's because they're so addicted to sugar. You can't just have a little bit. You can't just have a little taste. You have to stay completely away.
Yeah, like Judy Cho says, there are abstainers and moderators, or abstainer. I don't know how you pronounce it. And I'm definitely not a moderator.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, abstainer.
And
yes. Yeah, my husband, he is a moderator. He can have just a little bit and then go about his day. I cannot. I have to abstain.
It's the same. Me too. And Paul is also more a moderator. He did for a short time totally carnivore, but he just couldn't. He needed his salsa, his chips, his whatever. And but he tries to stay meat heavy. Like, yeah, he's not, I mean, those labels, but he's not really carnivore, but like meat heavy, animal based.
Yeah.
Tries. But yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, okay, I have to abstain or die.
Me too. Yeah. Because it's just, otherwise I go crazy. It's just like a switch in your brain. It's what I said. It's not like just the corn chips. It's even a leaf. One leaf of lettuce led to a crazy binge eat. It's like, one leaf of lettuce, who cares? It's nothing. But it's just that, yeah, I'm sure you know what I mean. It just like unlocks something in your brain. It like switches, and then, yeah, you're a different person. As the only way I can describe it is like I'm possessed because that's not me. I'm like, so I see myself shoving. I'm like, that's not me. It's really scary actually, because you don't have yourself under control and you hurt yourself and you know it. But at that time, you don't fucking care, or like, you don't even, you're not there. You're just, and it's a real problem. It's a real disease. It's a real addiction. But if I would tell people, oh, I'm cocaine addicted, I'm alcohol addicted, they would understand. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sugar addicted. Oh, yeah, me too. And like, oh, yeah, you just overreact. No, it's a real addiction. And it destroys my life. Sugar destroys my life. That's also why, I like sugars, like processed stuff, or like chocolates or sweets and stuff. I don't think I could ever give that to someone else anymore. You know, before, when I still got, not anymore, but when I got chocolate from Switzerland, you know, Switzerland is famous for chocolate, I just gave it to someone else. I can't do that anymore. I know others eat it, others buy it themselves or whatever, but it's like an alcoholic or an ex-alcoholic. They could never gift alcohol to someone else because it destroyed their life. So I don't think I can do that, even though I know they get it themselves, but I'm not helping you to, because I have such a personal story with that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to before coming to Carnivore, I made a lot of cakes and desserts and pastries, and so I was known for this in my family. And since becoming Carnivore, people will ask me, oh, you should start a business, sell cakes. And I was like, I can't do that, that's against my morals, you know.
Oh, listen to
it's
this.
Poison.
Listen to this. I used to have my own little catering in Switzerland. I did everything, but especially cakes and sweets. Like, I was also known for that. I did all, of course, again, really super creative, made everything myself. And then here in Reno, I used to work in a bakery right before I got sick. And I just was, I think it stopped. Oh no, now you're back. Okay. First I was just with the customers, but then I was actually helping making the cakes and stuff. So I'm like, oh, no, exactly what you just said. It goes against your morals. I couldn't, and I was, as you said, also in my family, I was known for the baker, for the chef, for like, and I was really good. Yeah, I made really, really great cakes, but I can't do that anymore. I don't want to poison other people. Oh, I still bake cakes, but all carnivore.
Yeah.
And even without dairy. That's also
okay.
Okay, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit proud of myself. Well, proud, that because dairy is so easy to do stuff with dairy. But do stuff without cheese, without milk, without cream. I make all this stuff without dairy. So cakes and all that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm proud. No.
Yeah. That is something to be proud of. I saw an egg cake on your YouTube channel, and I am definitely going to check that out because that looks really interesting.
Oh, I think, that's not even a recipe. I think that was my birthday cake a while ago. It was just
okay.
As if it's that what you said. Yes. It was like eggs stacked on top together.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't even, no, but I made, that's not out. I have this, I actually then started with Creative Carnivore Kitchen on my YouTube. So it's a folder where it's like a cooking show. And it's episode 23. So it's not out yet because I think episode 12 just aired. But I made a cake. It's called Cake for Sabina because Sabina wanted a cake. So I created it for her. But she's in Switzerland, so she didn't try. And it's really, oh my gosh, it was a hassle. But it has a crust and it really looks like a cake. And it was super delicious. Yeah. So that is, otherwise, just I did that too, like stacking meats together, stacking different egg stuff together and make a cake. Yeah, but then I actually made a cake. It looks like a cake. Yeah.
So what has been your all-time favorite carnivore creation that you've made?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. Something that just pops.
If you had to choose one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The first thing that popped into my mind is because I'm super, super proud of it. And it's, yeah, I think it has to be, it's not really, I have to say, it's not like my favorite creation because of taste, even though it tasted great, but it has no meat in it. And I mean, like, you need meat. But it has to be because I was so, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it when I created it. It has to be the uova cotta. So there's this dessert, panna cotta, from Italy. Panna is cream. Of course, I don't use cream. And cotta means cooked, so cooked cream. So this Italian dessert is basically cream, sugar, vanilla. You cook it and then you put it in a little dish. You put it in a fridge to make it firm. And then you you make some red jelly or something and pour that over it. So raspberry, strawberry, whatever. And you have this white thing here. And then with the red jelly, it looks beautiful. And so I made that all carnivore with egg whites, gelatin, and then in Germany, they have something called rote Grütze. So that is basically with berries. It's hot. And you have like berry juice and also whole berries in it, and it's red. And you pour that over other desserts, or you just eat it like that. Of course, sugar in it. And so I made my carnivore jelly. And the carnivore jelly is perch. Perch is raw meat juice. So it's not blood, but it's red. So it has some hemoglobin in it, but it's mostly water, but it's like this vibrant red, you know? So I, with gelatin again, very carefully, because you can't get the perch hot, because otherwise what happens when you get meat hot? It's not red anymore. It turns brown. So I made, I made it firm. So I call it carnivore jelly. And then I had this white, and I call it uova. Uova means egg, so not panna, because it's made out of egg. So my thing here, this white stuff, and then with the carnivore jelly. And when you look at it, I was like, holy fucking shit, it looks so real. And before I ate it, I remember Paul was in the office, and like about 3 times I went over to look at it. It's so awesome. And then I took a bite, like you take off a little bit, and then I went, look at it now. Look at it. It looks so perfect. And I sent pictures to my mom and my dad, and I was so proud. So I think, so there are many others, but I think this is just my first thing that I created that just, and it was delicious. I thought like gelatin, egg white, but it was delicious. It was good. Well, I think I used, I drink a lot of those flavored seltzer waters, and there's a seltzer water that's vanilla orange. So, and those panna cotta usually have vanilla in it. And that vanilla orange seltzer water is really strong. And I don't like to drink it. It's too strong and it's too vanilla-y. I don't know how to say that. But then in that, oh my gosh, the vanilla flavor, it was amazing. So yeah.
Wow.
The one I'm most proud of.
Okay. Okay. That does sound really, really amazing. Um,
And yeah,
okay. So
I have to add something really quickly. I'm sorry, but I know
no,
there
go
are
ahead.
these carnivores out there, like they make fun of vegans or whatever. Oh my gosh, you create all that stuff that looks like steak or whatever. Just eat a real steak. Or like, yeah, I totally get that. And also, like, I love just a steak and some scrambled eggs, and like that's great. But it's still, I'm so creative, and it's fun to try to make something non-carnivore, totally carnivore, but looks like the other food. And then there's so many people out there. There are some people, they are happy to have something maybe that looks like that. Or as you said, there are people, they eat ground beef all day long and it doesn't even look really appealing.
Mhm.
But it's delicious. I don't mind that either. But there are people that you eat with your eyes, or you like to have something nice.
Yes.
So yeah, I like everything. Like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely what you're doing with these food is an art for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Oh, that warms my heart. Someone that sees that and appreciates that. And I think you said you were known in your family for like the baking artists and stuff. So I think you can appreciate it. So
Mhm. Yes, yes, absolutely. All right, so we're just about out of time, but I did want to ask you, so you mentioned that carnivore has helped you manage your period symptoms and to manage your binging episodes. Is there anything else that you feel like carnivore has really helped with that's changed your life since adopting this way of eating?
yes, I always try to remember, because there are a lot of little things and major things. So one, I always try like to start my teeth, for example. My
Yes.
teeth used to be sensitive, like for cold and hot and stuff. Since carnivore, like, and I love, I basically eat always with my hands, and I love gnawing on
Mhm.
bones. My teeth are stronger and they don't get sensitive anymore. Like they, yeah, really this. And then, well, the IBS was so much better too, but now, as I said, it came back before I have a bowel movement, but I don't think it has anything. Does that, unfortunately, I know as well, sorry, there are many people out there, like they switch to a carnivore lifestyle and everything healed like a magic pill. So
Mhm.
awesome. And I thought that would happen with me too. Unfortunately not. And unfortunately, there are many other factors, and there are things that have nothing to do with the food. So yeah,
Mhm.
but when I started, I also I had much more energy at the gym. But now, of course, with my CFS, with the chronic fatigue syndrome, I barely have it. And low HGH, human growth hormone, you can't have
Mhm.
energy with a low HGH. So I got a lot of benefits from carnivore. They kind of went away again, but not because of yeah, whatever, my diseases or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the vagus nerve, I mean, that's a big thing. That's pretty
That's kind
much,
of scary.
that's I mean, that's like the master, the central motherboard of the whole body, right?
Yeah, I really think, because I explained it that it just happened back here, but one time it
Mhm.
actually then, so it's like cramping, but cramps, and then it loosens up and then cramps, but then it went down, and then it was like here, then it was here, and then
Mhm.
so like down the vagus nerve. So I was like, it needs to be something there. And usually it starts when I still had the tumor. It could start out of nowhere. Now it only happens after I swallowed a capsule. I still have problems swallowing capsules, and sometimes it feels like it's stuck in there. It's not, but and this sensation just gets worse and worse, and then the stuff here starts. So it's like something is fucked up with that vagus nerve. But something important, all the problems I have now, still have or whatever, everything would be so much worse if I wouldn't be carnivore. So I know that. I've seen that. And it is. Every time I went off again, everything got so much worse. Oh, yeah. I was chronically constipated. I was for years. It always hurt so much to go to the bathroom. When I started carnivore, no, I didn't have that typical diarrhea stuff at the very beginning. I was still constipated at the beginning, but less and less and less. So, well, now I have problems with diarrhea, but yeah, again, other problems, but it resolved that. So, and I was eating every day psyllium husk, so fiber, because of my constipation when I was keto. And yeah, now I figured out fiber just makes it worse. It makes me more constipated. So this is also something carnivore resolved.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, you need fiber if you're constipated, but I've noticed that with myself, with my kids, fiber equals constipation.
Right? Well, I have to say, I know, like Sabina in Switzerland, she figured out, when she just takes a tiny bit like of cucumber or something, just a tiny bit, she doesn't have diarrhea anymore. So the fiber probably is true. It helps her to not have diarrhea, and she's not constipated then, but it's a tiny amount she needs. So she actually does better now with a tiny bit or a little bit of olives, or I don't know, but I can't do that with my brain even, because you know what happens.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I have one last question for you.
I know I talked about.
No, it's great. It's great. It's really been a joy. Really been a joy talking to you. What advice would you give to someone just starting out on carnivore, or what's something you wish you knew when you first started?
Oh my gosh, that question. That's also a typical question. One thing, don't be dogmatic. Like most of the carnivores that started are like, oh, you have one leaf of basil on your plate, you're not carnivore anymore. It's like really, well, I'm not saying don't be dogmatic. Like I am dogmatic to myself. I have to be super strict. Well, but except for my supplements, everything else is carnivore. But don't be dogmatic towards others. Or like, I always say, everybody's body and brain are different, and you have to figure out what works best for you. And yes, of course, I'm not a fan of vegan diet, of course not. And I think, yes, everyone should have some red meat in their diet, but or at least meat. I think maybe there are some people out there, they don't do well with red meat. Yes. So everyone is just different. And yeah, so someone that starts out with carnivore, I think I congratulate you. That's great. Start, stick with it for a while, give it a chance, give it a fair chance, and then take all the advice in, like listen to your podcast or other podcasts and do research, but then you don't have to like blindly believe everything. You have to figure out what works best for you. So podcasts can give you great ideas, or like, oh wow, maybe this works for me, Or maybe, oh, I haven't thought about that yet. So you just have to figure out what works best for you, and
Yeah.
have fun with it. And yeah, and be there. I'm a bit, yeah, I have to mention that. I mean, I accept people for who they are, and I think it's good to give great advice, but I think it's so stupid to give the advice, oh yeah, when you go out with people and eat carnivore, just also order the sides and just kind of push them around. No, be fucking straight. I don't need that bullshit. I just want the meat. But no, I get it. It's like not everyone is like me. That just like, yeah, I'm very straightforward. I'm direct. I'm like, I don't care if people see that I just eat meat, or I don't care when people ask, and I love to talk about it. So now I get it. But you don't have to pretend. You don't have, because also, I don't want any sides on my plate or next to it. No,
Yeah.
it's gonna ruin my appetite. No, not, but no, it's just like,
Yeah. No,
be yourself. Just be yourself.
yeah. When I first started, I was definitely kind of ashamed. I thought people would think I was a freak, but now I do not care. I will let it be known. And yeah.
Yeah, you see, and that's totally understandable. I'm just not that way. I don't fucking
Mhm.
care. I'm not. I was never. I was more even proud at or like even, hey, yeah, look at me. I just see that, or like whatever. But no, yeah, everyone has their same, yeah, their own thing, how they deal with it and stuff. Yeah, do whatever works for you. But I love it. Now you said, yeah, at some point I feel like you shouldn't, how do you say, yeah, you shouldn't be ashamed anymore,
Mhm.
or try to hide away. No, be who you are, and if people don't accept you or whatever, screw them.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's really the attitude you've got to take.
Well, and it also makes a good start for a conversation. I mean, sometimes you're out with
Yes.
people and you have no idea what to talk about or whatever. Oh man,
Uh-huh.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Aline, it has been so much fun talking to you today.
Yeah,
So
thank
much
you.
fun.
I had fun too. I love doing that. That was great.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll definitely have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, thank you. I hope sometime in the future, when I figured out my health stuff,
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I just want to send you the best wishes, best
Thank you.
blessings over everything. And you are a true warrior. You really are.
It doesn't really feel like it sometimes, but yeah, no, thank you. I try.
Yeah. Well, you have a great rest of your, is it nighttime where you are? Daytime?
No, I think we're at the same. Where are you?
I'm in Georgia, so in the southeast.
Oh, okay. No. So I think I'm 3 hours behind you, or 4 hours. Me, it's
Okay.
two
Okay.
11 now.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, it's 5:11 where I am then.
Yeah, so 3 hours. Yeah. So no, it's not. I'm not in Europe. In Europe, it's like nighttime right now.
Okay, right. All right, well, take care, and I will see you
Thank
around
you.
Instagram and on YouTube.
Yeah, thank you so much. You take care too. It was really nice seeing you and all that. Thank you so much. You did a great
Yes.
job.
Yes, you too. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it for today. Until next time, stay meaty, stay strong, stay inspired. Do you have a carnivore story to tell? Connect with me on Instagram at meet, MEAT, Mrs. MRS Grubs, GRUBS. Or you can email me at carnivorestories@gmail.com. I would love to interview you, and the world needs to know that meat heals.